I always had my documents with me. So I'd really advocate whoever is the advocate to carry them with them all the time. From them, the moment I had them, I had a package that went with us everywhere. Not literally everywhere, but most places. I carried it with me. And the other thing that was interesting was when I produced it and wanted to give it to people, in fact, people wouldn't take a copy and I had to insist. And I was insistent because I wasn't a blood relative. That's where I was coming from, and as a health professional I was very much aware that it's really important to know who is the contact person.
Well, it's similar to all the other documents that you have now produced. It's going to assist family and the facility that the patient has now gone into to take care of you in the manner that you wish this to happen.
As she deteriorated over a couple of years, so she was, she died nearly 2 years ago, so about 18 months before that she'd had quite a significant admission to a major hospital. So from that time on she just steadily declined. She desperately wanted to stay in her own home. So she was allocated case manager, and I suppose we just threw everything at her. We had funding, we supplemented it with private money, just keeping her in her home.
Now that we have the advanced care plan, I can see that because it's there in black and white, I can actually say to all my siblings or my mother or my father, whoever it is that I need to discuss it with, that this is what that person would want. Here it is signed by them, this is what they would want. And letting my siblings know that it's okay, I've heard what you're saying and I respect what you're saying, but this is what mum or dad would want. And don't feel bad that you haven't done your utmost to protect them or to look after them and give them the best that you wanted for them.
If it hadn't been in writing, I don't think I could have convinced anybody that what she wrote down was what she wanted. They would have accepted the not for CPR. That's pretty common. Once you get older, it is not a fairly futile thing to do. The no tubes, feeding, that's fairly common. But the other things about being able to sit in your recliner and just watch TV and eat chocolate, that's not that common. A lot of people don't see that as quality of life. So to be able to advocate for that, you've got to be really firm, and having it in writing just makes it that much easier.
One of my questions was to the advanced care, what happens if you get a really religious doctor who believes in life at all cost? You know, life is everything. Give them anything to keep them alive. I said, what will happen if the kids come along and say, no, our mum made an advanced healthcare plan and we're not, you know, we want that carried out? And it was actually a very interesting answer. Apparently, if that doctor was prepared to go to court and they did not have that written and I could not respond, their chances were, whoa. But if they had the written advanced care plan, they would win. And first of all, I don't want them to go to court, and I don't want anything like that. But that was also reassuring for me.
I think the advanced care plan was also probably even more useful for the case manager, because then she was able to say, my client, this is what they are saying. I'm not being unreasonable, because the case managers have case meetings, and I believe she was having a lot of difficulty saying across to the other case managers, no, this lady really truly wants to stay in her own home, and we are going to continue to provide her as much as we can until we've reached our absolute limit. And to be able to get across to the case managers that this is the type of personality that is the client.
Memories aren't all that reliable, no matter how old you are. And also everybody's viewpoint will be very different, because I know even amongst my own siblings they would all say, oh, but I remember this or I remember that, or I think mum or dad would want this, and we all remember things differently and have different experiences. So it needs to be absolutely clear in that instance, really, what the person wants, not what we think. So
It's all black and white. There's no grey in the middle.
cuts out the grey. That's right.
I got wonderful peace of mind from having my advanced health care plan. And in fact, even though my children argued somewhat, I noticed 2 of them went out and made advanced care plans. So I think it gives most of us peace of mind.